So I will maybe focus on the age kind of around you guys' age. So at that time, the family's farm was winding down. There was some environmental conservation policy took place in Hong Kong. The way our family operated the farm was no longer complying to the rules. So we were still living on the farm, but I started going to middle school, and then we call it secondary school in Hong Kong. So every day, it was interesting because the secondary school is kind of far away from my farm because the farm is kind of on the outskirt of the city. So I had to take a bus, and then I had to, I had to take a minibus and then another bus, and then to walk a little short distance to go to my secondary school. But that's pretty much how I remember it. You know, my day-to-day was going to school, travel a little bit, and then walk my way back to the farm that I grew up in. I was 17 years old. The journey actually didn't really start there, for me at least. So my dad left Hong Kong when I was 3 years old. Between 3 and 17, let's do the math. 17 take away 3, 14 years. I was just waiting. Like, of course, when I was 3 years old, little girl, I really had no idea that I was gonna do that thing, immigrating. But my family talked about it a lot when I was a kid. So, you know, when I was in high school, I knew that I wasn't gonna be like every other high schooler, finishing the degree, you know, moving on. Well, then, or even today, being able to accept into college, it's an impossibility. It's very hard to get into college in Hong Kong. So I knew that I was just, you know, like all the other friends, there's a certain path that they have to go through, but I wasn't gonna be one of them. So the journey for me was always kind of like fascinating when I was a kid. What's it gonna be like when I grow up, when I finally get to a place called America? But, you know, there's a physical journey, which is to, you know, pack up all of your belongings, travel as light as you can, because we really didn't have any way to move all of my favorite toy or to move all of my personal stuff, like even my bed or dresser, none of that. I really just packed a suitcase of things that are most important to me, and a lot of stuff I had to say goodbye to it and get on the airplane and arrive in San Francisco International Airport. Yeah, so many different things. I think one of the things that I remember the most was really saying goodbye to a lot of friends and families. Yeah, but lots of friends, you know, high school friends and people that I've known that for years that they know I'm gonna be leaving. And it's really strange, even though I had spent a lot of effort saying goodbye, or almost like, I won't see you forever, but things do, the innovation of Facebook, I am connected with those friends now, virtually. So the preparation, there was a lot of that farewell involved, but it's interesting that I feel like today I'm not really disconnected with some of these people. The education in Hong Kong was so competitive, extremely competitive. So to give us an idea why it's competitive, because Hong Kong is a very small city, and at that time, in the time that I grew up, was still under British control. The border between Hong Kong and the rest of China was closed off, meaning if you want to pursue education, this is the only place, unless your family is willing to study abroad or immigrate elsewhere. So there are only a handful of university or college to go to at that time, and there were millions of students trying to get a spot at it. There was no way that I would be able to, so then I think it was very stressful. So to really just put it in the simplest term, the education between Hong Kong and San Francisco, the main difference is opportunity. It is also access. Back then, there was no way that I would be able to continue higher education at the age of 18 unless my family put out a lot of money, which we didn't have. I thought a lot about that. I think the version of me today that thinking more like what are the things that I could have more, or that I could have today than what I didn't get to have. So specifically, I think is the view that I have to the world. When I grew up in Hong Kong, I really didn't have any access to the rest of the world. I didn't know a lot of different culture, even though I understand there are certain countries on the map, but I had no exposures to those. So I felt like as an American today, my view to the world is so much bigger and so much more meaningful. So that would be the biggest takeaway for me, the pro part. I think for the cons, I thought about that question for some time, and I think it's very minimum. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here, right? I would have take a quick trip back to Hong Kong and stay there, but I didn't. But if I really have to say, it's probably that emotional aspect of leaving some of your past and not being able to revisit it or continue with the past that you have. I guess I can speak a little bit about the recent pro-democracy movement in Hong Kong. So there's this one event, it's happened maybe about since 2019 or 18, I'm not quite exactly sure. But I have connected with some of my high school friends or my old friends in Hong Kong. So some of these events, it's all politically driven. So there are a lot of protests on the street. The people in Hong Kong are upset about certain government's policy. And namely, it's about how Hong Kong was supposed to remain the same for 50 years after the British turned the country back to China. A lot of the policy, the way of life is supposed to stay, but it didn't. So to answer your question, I think the biggest thing that I see, this is a classic case of how Chinese government operates, is things that you would think that you're given and is your freedom. A lot of the time, it's not true. You would not have the things that you think you expect that you would have, as simple as peace and just getting along with each other. It's not necessarily the case. So I think in terms of the lifestyle, it's just that the stability in life is the biggest thing. Feeling, safe in your hometown and with the community. So comparing to the US, I feel like, as a young person coming to America, I felt like there was so much I could do that nobody could stop me if I really wanted to.
Hi, I'm Ellen McNeil.
Hi, I'm Sophia Wright.
Hi, I'm Noella Zion.
Hi, my name is Riley Phones.
Hi, I'm Max Becerra.
Hi, I'm Rennie Ty.
Hi, I'm Elena Fowler.
Hi, I'm Corrie Haberman.
Hi, I'm Asher Finkel.